Cartoon theme songs like the Jetsons. Listen to the musicians, dozens and dozens of them. Lots of string instruments, horns, piano. Check it out.
Meet George Jetson. His boy Elroy. Daughter Judy. Jane, his wife.
Holy smokes, it's number 9, Drew Brees. I think it's pronounced Brees. I know the Saints don't allow anyone to wear his number 9 or Archie Manning's number 8 as the way it should be. But what about Ricky Jackson's 57, Morton Anderson's 7, Willie Roaf's 77, and Sam Mills' 51? 4 others, that's all. You can't have Breeze's number off limits, and those NFL Hall of Famers, their numbers are still being worn. Come on, New Orleans Saints football organization. Hey, by the way, the black and gold are at it this Sunday. I like this preseason, not Friday, not Saturday, Sunday in the Dome. Kansas City coming to town. The Saints are going to have their starters playing. I doubt we'll see Pat Mahomes, but who knows? We'll find out on this Monday. It's not a sports talk program, but every now and then sports is the news. And on Monday, for about 10 minutes, a Martel Monday. Brett Martel joins us from the Associated Press. And on Fridays with Fletch for about 10 minutes. Fletcher Mackel from Channel 6. So, yeah, coming up in about an hour and 20 minutes, a little after 5:30, during the 5 o'clock power hour, Brett Martel will join us from the AP. Brett was at LSU today. Speaking of news, oh, yeah, go Tigers. Wow. USA Today coaches preseason poll is out. LSU number 5. Number 5. Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Alabama 3, Ohio State 4, LSU 5. They open up the season in Orlando against number 8, Florida State, already a top 10 matchup. LSU has the best schedule year in, year out, decade in, decade out, the best schedule of any team in college football. The best schedule every year. Hard to beat LSU's schedule. LSU, number 5 in the USA Today coaches preseason poll. Brian Kelly's Tigers, 5th. How about Willie Fritz's Green Wave rolling in at number 23? Yeah, you right. The AAC defending champs, the Cotton Bowl winners. Yeah, that Tulane Green Wave. The Uptown Crew, 23 in USA Today coaches preseason poll. Fired up about college football, huh? 3 SEC teams in the top 5, 4 in the top 10, 6 SEC teams in the top 25. Tennessee 10th, Ole Miss 22nd, A&M's 25th. LSU 5th. Tulane, the Green Wave, 23rd. Tulane head football coach Willie Fritz will join us live on the in 25 minutes. Green Wave fans, spread the word. In about 25 minutes, a little after 4:30, we're heading to Uptown. Willie Fritz will join us live on the program. Find out what's going on with the 23rd ranked Tulane Green Wave. Yeah, you right. Fired up about all of that. Speaking of fired up, boy, and speaking of the wave, an insane heat wave continues. Crazy hot, dangerous hot out there. Seriously. The low to mid 90s that were forecast for this week after all of last week, high 90s. We normally are mid or low to mid 90s. 92, 93, 94, 95 maybe. We never get much hotter than that. It's almost like we've had more days this summer, 97, 98, 99, than in the last few decades of summers combined. More days of 97, 98, 99 this summer than maybe the last decade of summers combined. Yeah, the low to mid 90s, highs for the day are gone, it seems. Highs in the high 90s again this week, all week long. And it makes that temperature feels like 8, 10, 12 degrees hotter, even more. When we're in the low 90s as our high for the day, 91, 92, 93, 94, the feels like is 97, 98. It's 99 degrees right now. The temperature on the thermometer, 99 degrees. Feels like anywhere from 109 to $115. Talk about oppressive and dangerous. Feels like 115. Feels like 109, 112. The actual temperature on the thermometer is 99 degrees right now in New Orleans. You know what we should be doing just nonstop in New Orleans? It is a no-brainer. It's beautification. It's green. It creates jobs, economy, and it's necessary for the city's existence. And it should have been going on since Katrina. Any parcel of land, anywhere, especially low-lying areas, especially areas where you can consolidate houses onto one block and people actually have a neighborhood feel again instead of being isolated in the middle of nowhere. We should be digging holes all around the city all the time. Tiny little holes for trees. Continuously planting trees, oak trees, magnolias, cypress, tree planting all the time, 24/7, 365, nonstop. Never can have enough trees. You think about this oppressive heat. I tweeted this, and then a bunch of folks replying with like fact-based information. I play golf a little bit, so I'll go on these golf courses, and I played Belterre in Laplace about a week and a half ago. Brand new greens, worth playing. It's a Pete Dye layout from the late 70s. No offense, but Laplace, it's almost kind of blanker, get off the pot. You got Belterre and, Sugarlands, like right next to each other. Got to kind of get rid of one of those and have one great course. I would pick the Pete Dye course. I think Riverlands has a lot more members than Belterre does. And I don't know if public owned, private owned, I don't know any of that, but the Pete Dye course is really nice. The greens are nice. It's a good course. I always talk about golf courses and bring up that kind of analogy on stuff. But it's true. You have these retention ponds on these golf courses, and when there is a big rain expected, they drain them. They pump the water out. So when the rain comes and hits the valuable property of the golf course, the fairways, the tee boxes, the greens, the bunkers, it drains out into these lower lying areas, these canals, bayous, and water features. So that course has got water everywhere. That's how you drain these golf courses. Pete Dye doesn't do a lot of ground moving, builds flat courses. He knew this back in the late 70s. Same thing in New Orleans. Should be, digging retention ponds all over. I'll tell you another thing about Belterre. They said during Ida 9 months ago, they lost 250 trees. I know the TPC lost hundreds of trees. During Katrina, golf courses lost hundreds of trees, mature trees. So if golf courses sitting on a few hundred acres are, averaging a few trees an acre lost, it makes sense that the rest of the cities You're losing a few trees every acre and mature trees. No, the loss of the tree canopy. We should be digging holes all the time, planting trees. Retention ponds since Katrina. We should be digging holes all around the city to collect water. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. I went to Fausto's for lunch today. Lunch, 11 a.m. till 2:30. Dinner served nightly. They open up 5 to 9 tonight for dinner. You won't be disappointed. Some of the best Sicilian and Italian. Tonight, Fausto's Italian Bistro.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
That's what I said. Leidenheimer. That's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. An absurdly hot 99 degrees. It's 99 degrees in New Orleans right now. An absurdly hot early August summer afternoon. We're not used to this heat. Had more days in the high 90s, 97, 98, 99 this summer than maybe the last decade of summers combined. I mean, like a lot of you out there, we've grown up down here, year in, year out, summer in, summer out. Low, mid-90s, I get it. Feels like high 90s, you bet. Temperatures in the high 90s, a super rarity. Feels like north of 100, a super rarity. Now we're at 99 degrees going into our second week, and it's supposed to be all week long. No rain, and 97, 98, 99, the highs every day. Just crazy. Hard for the air conditioning to keep up. No, it's nice when you have a house with a bunch of big trees all around the house because it shades the house, makes it easier for the air conditioning to keep up. You have a house that's sitting in some neighborhood with no trees. That's why I think I drive down some of those streets in Metairie in between like vets going to the lake, and there's like no trees in any of the yards. I'm like, this was a cypress swamp. Why wouldn't you keep all the cypress trees? Now, you'll drive around parts of New Metairie, if you want to call it that, from like Vets to the lake, from the Parish line, almost going all the way to Kenner. And you'll see some old cypress trees that are as big as a car at the bottom, that are probably a few hundred years old. You'll definitely see some cypress trees that are 100 years old. Just one here, one there. It's shocking they didn't leave like a lot of those trees up. Or plant oak trees in every yard. There's a handful of streets in Metairie, in between Veterans and the lake, that are oak tree lined, and they're awesome. The oak trees connect over the street. It's unbelievable. I look at those streets like off River Road in Old Jefferson. What is it? Lake Villa off River Road with the oak trees lined all the way to Jefferson Highway. It's beautiful. A bunch of those streets just have the, kind of the same house and no trees. And, I don't know. I like Lake Villa better. I bet you the houses sell for more on Lake Villa than the next door street with the same type house that doesn't have trees. Post-Katrina New Orleans, all this visiting the Netherlands, let's work with water, not against it. I mean, there's so many things that just stand out how we already worked against it. I look at the flood wall on Hain Boulevard on the lake. It's not people accessible. It's not, hey, people, come out here and jog, work out, sit on a bench under a light, come out into this area, little areas that even ramp up overlooking different spots on the lake. I mean, we're not even talking more money to build it, just designing it slightly differently where it's sort of people friendly, because 999 days out of 1,000, we're not using it for flood protection. Like 999 days out of 1,000, we're not using it for flood protection. It should be for humans. Like, boy, what a great place to go by the lake. And by the way, that awesome place, it's flood protection. Did you know that? Instead, it's flood protection and not people friendly at all. I mean, miles and miles along Hain Boulevard, neighborhoods right there, bridges over Hain connecting to that. Nothing. It's like, stay away, flood wall. Don't want you near the lakefront. It's like Pontchartrain Beach, West End Park, Lincoln Beach, never reopened, decade in, decade out. Like, stay away. We don't work with the water. We work against it. There should be all kind of parks and playgrounds. I mean, a lot of city park, like that south course that they abandoned on the, what do you want to say, southern side of I-610, the museum side. A lot of that should have been, lakes and dug out already for flooding. When the rain comes, water can go in there and flood it, like Pontiff Park in Old Metairie. Pontiff Park in Old Metairie, instead of digging it out, they put a levee around it. So it's like ready to flood. You can flood that park instead of houses and streets and valuable stuff in Old Metairie. Flood Pontiff Playground instead. Smart, brilliant. That's how you do it. That's how they do it in Europe. Elysian Fields from the river to the lake. This is like 10 years ago. Supposed to be a linear waterway, the neutral ground on Elysian Fields, which right now is no human occupancy at all. No humans go on the neutral ground outside of a little pedaling at like Claiborne and Elysian Fields, maybe Elysian Fields at St. Claude. There's no one on the neutral grounds all the way from the river to the lake, essentially. So a linear park with, a bike path, a jogging path, benches, parts that are wide or parts that are narrower, bridges, fishing piers, plant life, trees that attracts human beings to the neutral ground. And when it rains really hard, the water flows into there. Like the golf course, hey, let's pump the ponds and streams and, water features, the bayous, whatever it might be on the golf course. Lower those before the rain comes. The tee boxes, the fairways, the greens, the valuable things. The water flows away from them into the ponds. In neighborhoods, like Old Metairie, instead of flooding the neighborhood, it flows into Pontiff Playground. That's what should be going on Elysian Fields from the river to the lake. Mirabeau, near St. Bernard Avenue. What was it, that old nun's home? It's like 15 acres or so. It's supposed to be one huge retention pond park for fishing, jogging trails, walking trails with all water features and marsh to filter water and all that. I mean, Broad Street at Washington, Broad Street and Washington should both be like bridges. One of them like at road level, and then one of them that goes over that road level, and then dig all of that street out and dig a big hole and make a lake on Broad and Washington right there. I'm not talking about getting rid of any of the buildings, the old Popeyes, the old Bone Ford, the funeral home, none of that. Gas station, none of that. But that's one of the lowest lying areas of the city. It should be a huge retention pond. Stretching a little into Broadmoor, stretching towards Carrollton, stretching down Broad, just for a few blocks in each direction, and like some above ground roadway on the side, big retention pond in the middle, whatever. Lowest lying area in New Orleans. Let the water naturally flow there and keeps the streets and the neighborhoods and the houses water free. Retention ponds are easy. It's gravity. We should be digging holes all the time in New Orleans. Retention ponds and planting trees nonstop. The tree canopy in New Orleans. I mean, I was just talking about the heat. I was like, man, I play these golf courses. All these guys talk about is the loss of trees during hurricanes. I mean, the TPC, where the PGA Tour stop is, there is a par 5 that had a 800-year-old cypress on the left side of the fairway. Have to go around it. Cypress got knocked out by a storm. The tree's not replaced. It just makes the hole go from special to ordinary. Got to replace that tree. No, that's just like, I'm just seeing this on a golf course. So I'm like, a little bit of deductive reasoning. The tree canopy in New Orleans is greatly diminished. I remember like post-Katrina, anywhere there was flooding, if there was a magnolia tree, it's gone. You really have to look for magnolia trees now. Magnolia trees were like oak trees or cypress. They were everywhere in New Orleans pre-Katrina. Magnolia trees were everywhere. Hard to find magnolia trees because unlike an oak or a cypress that have some saltwater tolerance, magnolias don't at all. I remember Paris Avenue from like Allen Toussaint all the way into Gentilly. Magnolia lined. Every last one of them killed in Katrina. Every last one of them dead. Got to replace the tree canopy in New Orleans. So I post this because of the heat. Get all kind of responses about deplenish tree canopy. New Orleans like leads the country. You know, I was guesstimating about a third of our trees are gone, and that's about the number. And I'm basing it off of like golf course, just hearing people complain that run these courses after a storm. hundreds and hundreds of trees at the TPC, hundreds of trees at courses like Belterre, Lakewood, losing, dozens, if not 100 trees because of storms. Chateau, wherever it might be, if there are lots of old trees and you get these hurricanes rolling in, there's a chance you could lose those trees. And New Orleans apparently has lost a lot of its tree canopy over the last 20 years or so. So retention ponds and planting trees, that should be like New Orleans' motto. We be digging. Dig this. Something. I mean, we should be embracing digging. Little holes for trees, big trees, and big holes for retention ponds. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Hey, since 1896, 3 centuries, over 125 years, Leidenheimer Baking Company, still baking that Leidenheimer French bread right here in New Orleans. That French bread that's on that great po' boy you love, it's Leidenheimer. That French bread served hot, sometimes in the little paper bag at some of the city's finest restaurants. Leidenheimer French bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company, good to the last crumb. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Yeah, you right. When we come back, Green Wave fans, Tulane head football coach Willie Fritz joins us, the 23rd ranked Green Wave.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer. For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Welcome back. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. 99 degrees, feels like at least 109, maybe as hot as 115. Be careful. Seriously, it's dangerous out there. Stay hydrated. The USA Today coaches preseason poll is out. The AAC defending champs, the Cotton Bowl winners, your Tulane Green Wave, the 23rd ranked team in the land. The head coach of the Tulane Green Wave, Willie Fritz, joins us live on the program again. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm great, man. Being a local fan, fired up that football's here and fired up for the first time, Coach, I don't know if you knew this, first time in Tulane football history in a preseason poll, top 25. First time ever.
Oh, I've had a couple people tell me that today, but the main thing is we want to be in there at the end of the season.
Yep.
So we gotta keep going. When I came here and took the job, I'm kind of a football historian. I love following all the different teams and players across the country, and Tulane has had great players and they've had great teams in the past. They just haven't done it, on a consistent level. That's what we want to, we were going in that direction. We played 3 bowl games in a row, and at 21 we had a little step back, and we want to do some good things this season so we can put back-to-back outstanding years for Tulane.
I don't believe Tulane's ever won 20 games over a 2-year period in the history of the program.
I've had a couple people tell me that too, but we got to get that first one against old South Alabama.
Yeah, that's why I shoot 85 in golf instead of 75. Seriously. I'm worrying about down the road, and I need to be disciplined like Coach Willie Fritz and worry about shot at a time and not the score. That's it. That's why you're a winner, Coach, and why I'm a hack out on the golf course. Willie Fritz is with us, Tulane head football coach. I mean, I know, Coach, ultimately you don't care. You just said, I want to be there at the end. But it is recognition. It is a pat on the back. It is good for the program. It is good for recruiting. It is good for enrollment and fans that you guys are 23rd. It's all gravy and lanyard. Nothing bad about that, right?
No, there isn't anything bad about it. Our applications for admission were through the roof this last year. We've always had, this is a difficult school to get into, but kids really want to come to school here. So it's always been high, but it was even higher last year. I think we produced, close to $1 billion of positive social media.
Wow.
Messaging and branding with Tulane all last season with just the football program. And, it's great for the school. I think it's great for the city. I think it's great for our football program. It helps you with recruiting and all those kind of things. But, you got to go about your work every single day. And we're certainly not anywhere close to resting on our laurels. Maybe there's some few different programs across the country that can do that a little bit. But, we want to put together another great season. It starts with having a great practice every day.
How do you convey that message to the team, coupled with the fact that since you are the defending conference champ, since you are Cotton Bowl winners against mighty USC. They're 6th ranked, by the way, in the preseason poll. You're now kind of the hunted coach, not the hunter.
I don't know how. I certainly, when we prepare, since I've been a head coach since 1993, we try to put the same preparation into every single week. And we didn't, hey, this game's a big one because they're good, or this team is not very good. We're going to back off a little bit. That's called upsets. So we put the same energy into it every single week. And I'm lucky I got, obviously I got smart guys playing for me. So they got into, you need more than a pulse to get into Tulane. So I got smart guys that are playing for me, and they understand that, we're going to have to scratch and claw to be successful this year. And they've been conveying that message probably more than I have.
Hey, Coach, because of the newfound spotlight that you've created on the program and enhancement of the program, how was last year's recruiting class in your mind now that you've got to see the players a little bit? And which freshmen do you feel can have an impact, may even start for the Green Wave this upcoming season in just a few weeks?
Well, we really thought we've had a great recruiting class. I made a comment in our staff meeting the other day that I really think that, every one of these guys has got an opportunity to player for us at some point in their career. Normally by this time, you might have 3 or 4 guys. Not quite sure if this guy's going to, be able to play at this high level. But, a local product I'll mention is, Arnold Barnes. Arnold is from Booker T. Washington High School right down the street from our university. He had the advantage of coming in the spring. He's a running back. We lost a great Tajay Spears, the Tennessee Titans. And, I really think that Arnold's going to be a guy that's, going to play a bunch for us this season. He's a little bigger back than what we've had in the past. A couple other local guys that have looked great are Jai Eugene and Kevin Adams, both from Destrehan. Jai played quarterback, in high school because they needed him to play there. And Kevin's a DB, and both those guys, are playing defensive back for us and, won a state championship there last year. So those are a few, true freshmen that have come in and showed a bunch to us.
The freshmen and then that transfer portal, that's key as well nowadays.
Yeah, we picked up some good kids. Cam Penisclau from Lafayette, he's transferred over here. We're really excited about him. I think he's going to play a lot. A.J. Hampton from Northwestern, I think he's honorable mention, all Big Ten last year. Tyler Grubbs, a local product from Holy Cross, he was all conference at Louisiana Tech the last couple seasons. So those are a few of the guys. Dante Fleming from East St. John, he was over at Lafayette last year. Keith Brown, he was at Texas A&M. Cam Wire from East Ascension High School. I think he started 11 ball games in his career at LSU. So, we picked up some really good kids from the transfer portal. Yep.
How key is it having Pratt coming back? I mean, that's the most important position on the field, and you got one of the better ones.
Well, we're jacked. Michael's just such a great leader for us, and he does so much off the field. Even if he couldn't play, he'd be a valuable member of your team just because of his interaction and leadership with everybody. And we feel like, he's one of the top quarterbacks in Division I football. And, and something else I think is going to help him tremendously this year. It's going to be the first time he's been in the same offense since he went to high school, his freshman year, for 2 years in a row.
Wow.
So I think that's going to help him out greatly.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Coach, the voids you have to fill, you're confident in filling them, or there are concerns in some spots?
No, running back position, I think we've got, Shotty Clayton from Warren Easton and Iverson Celestine from over Fountain Blue. And I talked about Arnold. We've got a couple other kids there at running back. We got to fill some big shoes with Tajay Spears. I mean, he's one of the best backs in the history of Tulane. Tight end, we need to get some guys to step up. We lost 2 good tight ends. Alex Bauman, who had a great Cotton Bowl, is kind of the front leader for us. Lost a couple good wide receivers, but Twan Jackson from Hahnville and Lawrence Keys was down to 35. Will kind of lead the way for that room. And, offensive line, I feel like it's the best line we've had, maybe in my career. We got, big guys who can move, and we haven't always had that luxury here. And, defensive line, I got 9 guys who have started at least one game for us in their career.
That's
Led by Patrick Jenkins over from John Herod. Lost a couple good linebackers. One's with the Buffalo Bills, and the other one's here in town with the Saints. But we got some good talent there at linebacker, and we lost some good safeties. And picked up a couple guys from the transfer portal. We need some other guys to step up. Tell you another guy we picked up a punter. We went down the street to Australia and picked up a guy, and we're excited about him. He's been blasting them during camp, and actually comes from the same sports academy as the punter for the Saints. Those 2 guys know each other a little bit, so that kind of helped us get him over here.
Nice. Yeah, those Aussies have been making their way into college football, punting the football. Tulane head football coach Willie Fritz is with us for a couple of more minutes. Coach, I don't know if this is a fair question or not. Sometimes coaches say it's a rebuilding year. Sometimes coaches say this is the year we're supposed to win. Is this going to be a better team than last year? Similar team? I know it's different. What are you expecting?
Well, every game I go into, we have the expectations of winning and preparing to win and all those kind of things. Got a tough schedule, but we got a lot of depth. We got, since I've been here, really excluding last season, we got an injury and there was a big drop off from first team to second team. And maybe there was a couple positions in the past where maybe it wasn't championship type of talent. Maybe there, but I think we've got more depth. I think we've got like corner position. I think we've got 3 corners who can play for us. That can play at this level. So, that's something that I think is exciting is the depth that we have.
Hey, Coach, a couple more questions before we let you go. The new locker room, state of the art. You got to be happy about that for the team, for recruiting.
Yeah, that's neat. Our guys are excited about it. We also, got a new training room, and guys, they spent a lot of time in there, and that's neat. We get some stuff out in our entryway with, showing some, the different. We win awards every year for the best uniform combinations.
Yep.
So we kind of show those off with recruiting and the different trophies that we won at bowl games since I've been here. And also, before I got here, there's a couple huge Liberty Bowl victories that Tulane had in 73 and 98 that we're also showing off because, I feel like I'm the head coach for the total program, not just since I've been here, but, since Tulane started playing football. So I think the alums will be excited about seeing all this.
Besides the continued winning, what completes the program for you, Coach? Indoor facility, football facility?
Well, when the season gets over, we're going to start with our offices up here and doing some things. We'd love to get an indoor on campus. We're talking about that a bunch, but we're just so fortunate that, Mrs. Benson and the Saints, Mickey Loomis, Dennis Lachey, all the people out there, Jay Romig is a big part of it. We're lucky we were able to use, the indoor facility out at Metairie. Doug Thornton down there at the Superdome. They let us go down there. We're going to practice down there tomorrow. If we didn't have those opportunities, we couldn't run a Division I program. I probably would have missed this will be my 8th season. We probably would have missed 150 to 200 practices. And, since I've been here, because lightning jumps up every now and then around here.
Yeah, no doubt.
You will know.
What would it be, like a small little bubble type facility on campus, ideally?
We'd like to do that if we could, but it's we're just very fortunate that we're able to. They allow us to go out there and use their facilities, and that's been great for us. I think in the 7 years that we've gone through, we've actually missed 5 practices, which is really good.
Yep.
As because of the Saints.
Yep. Yeah. Earhart Expressway to the Saints, right down Claiborne to the Dome.
Right.
Pretty convenient too.
I know it will.
Coach, a pleasure. Congratulations on so far 23rd ranked in the preseason poll. That's good stuff.
Well, we got to keep going. Come on out. We got a couple sellouts already. I think, like I always tell everyone, you come out and watch a game at Yeoman Stadium. Every seat is a perfect seat, and we also have $3 beers at the game. So come on out and watch the Green Wave.
Yep, roll wave. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Have a great one.
That's Tulane head football coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here, and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Yeah, you right. A Monday afternoon in New Orleans, absurdly hot. 99 degrees, feels like 109 to like 115. We should be digging holes. It should be New Orleans' motto. We be digging holes for trees to get our canopy of trees back to where it was. And digging holes for retention ponds so we don't flood when it rains. Digging holes. Boy, that security guard, did you see that video outside the public library on Tulane and Loyola? Jeez, Pete's a little overzealous. Doesn't it suck? And I guess some people are going to get mad that I say this, but I'm just like, to get through the day and make it easier. Thank goodness that security guard was black. Could you imagine if the security guard was white? Just shooting at the black dude running away? There would have been a race thing injected into that. And it's a guarantee. There doesn't have to be racism involved, just some white security guard. It was as insane as the black female security guard. Just happened to be white. Equally crazy. Shot at the person running. Colorblind. Could have been Latino, Asian, white. Just, I'm a nut. I'm shooting the gun. But there'd be race injected, and it's of course it's race, and it's a hate crime, and folks would be freaking out. No, it sucks where I have to be like, oh, thank God it was a black security guard shooting at the black dude running, shooting at him and hitting him in the back. Just unloading the gun, too. And looked like pretty focused, and a lot of the bullets hit the target. Anyway, crazy. Kia Simmons arrested, shooting Henry Mark. Kia Simmons charged with second-degree murder, battery, illegal use of a weapon, criminal damage to property. Yeah, like bullet holes. Crazy video. Now, this Henry Mark guy wasn't innocent. Pushing the security guard, reportedly arguing with her, throwing like a brick or something, but then runs off. The security guard just has to go back to her post where she's supposed to be and call the NOPD if you want, report the guy. Maybe you recognize him. Maybe you'll see him in the future. Call the NOPD. That's the guy that pushed me in through the bricks. But just to take your pistol out and shoot a few shots at him, then move a few feet as guy runs and shoot a few more shots at him when he's running farther away. It's like the first shots weren't warranted. And then the second group of shots clearly weren't warranted. And apparently Kia Simmons has had problems before, this security guard charged with second-degree murder and more. That was insane, that video. Nutty, to say the least. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour or part of it, you just missed Willie Fritz, Tulane head football coach. Head football coach of the 23rd ranked Tulane Green Wave. That's right. The USA Today coaches preseason poll is out. Tulane in at number 23. Now, this is not, I repeat, not a sports talk program. It's the neutral ground with me. 95% of the time, we're not talking sports. But when sports are the big story, we talk sports. And then we have like some regulars like 5 o'clock powwow on a Monday. Brett Martel joins us, a Martel Monday. 4 o'clock hour on a Friday. Fletcher Mackel, a couple of sports guests a week. But 20 minutes dedicated to sports out of the 10 hours we do a week. It is a Martel Monday. Brett Martel will join us in about 40 minutes, little after 5:30. And yes, Brett Martel was 80 miles upriver in Baton Rouge, Tiger Town, where the 5th-ranked LSU Tigers, that's right, USA Today coaches preseason poll is out. LSU number 5, Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Alabama 3, Ohio State 4, LSU 5. Tennessee's 10, Ole Miss 22nd, Texas A&M 25th. In the SEC, that's 3 SEC in the top 5, 4 SEC in the top 10, 6 SEC in the top 25. I mean, come on. You got the number 1 team in the land. You got 60% of the top 5. You got nearly half of the top 10. And you got 25% of the top 25. Just crazy. LSU 5th. Tulane, number 23. We just discussed that and more with Tulane head football coach Willie Fritz. I kind of asked him about the indoor facility a couple of times, and he kept going back to Saints facility in the Dome, and I get it. But, I mean, that tells me that he wants that indoor bubble on campus. On campus. Maybe where that practice field is, that small practice field, right on the other side of Yeoman, kind of jammed in between Yeoman and the Wilson Center, kind of over in that direction. Maybe, I don't think that is a full field. Maybe that would be the indoor bubble spot. No, you heard Coach miss 5 practices in the last few years without the Saints being accommodating in the indoor facility there, which, you know, sometimes the schedule needs to be changed up. It's only available this amount. You got it, Coach. It's available after 2. Okay, we were going to start our practice at 1:30. Now we got to push that back to 3:30, whatever. It's a slight inconvenience. I think Coach is right. It's fortunate they have it, the Superdome, right down the street. Maybe there's something going on at the Dome. Maybe the field's not down, whatever. So it's not Tulane's facility. Inclement weather rolls in a flash. They may have to, instead of, hey, let's go inside, like the Saints, they got to call the Saints. They got to call Tulane. Hey, guys, go back to, we're going to go to a meeting now, and because we can't practice for 2 hours. Anyway, Willie Fritz joined us last hour. What's that, Blue Boy? 5 o'clock powwow in New Orleans should be digging holes like you. Digging holes, planting trees, digging holes for attention ponds, digging holes like you, huh, Blue Boy? Blue Boy, you're right on the money as usual. He's also right. The 5 o'clock powwow. Next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333.
Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and were maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Hi, everyone. Welcome aboard the Love Boat. I'm Gopher. Could I make you a pina colada or some other type of exotic drink with an umbrella in it? I'm Gopher. Welcome to the Love Boat. That's my impersonation of a very enthusiastic gopher bartender on the Love Boat, which, by the way, is coming your way now. It's a rerun from 45 years ago. Thank God number 9 bailed us out from his compound in La Jolla. Sort of like Kenner to New Orleans, La Jolla to San Diego. Not at all like Kenner to New Orleans. Anyway, Drew, you for that intro. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you on an insane, hot, crazy Monday. Insane heat wave continuing. Crazy hot and dangerous. The like highs that were supposed to be low to mid 90s, kind of back to normal. What happened to that? We've had a whole week plus of 97, 98, 99, the highs. Right back at it right now. 98 degrees. It was 99 last hour. 99. It peaked out at 100 plus in some parts of the metro. And that feels like anywhere from $109 to 115. Crazy, oppressive, dangerous heat. Stay hydrated. Lots of agua. H2O, water. Gotta have it. Especially if you're going outside for any period of time. Get hydrated before you go out in it. This oppressive heat, this crap's going to continue for like the next week, through the weekend, into next week. Highs of 97, 98, 99, even higher, instead of low to mid 90s. So when you get this, like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9 degree temperature difference on the thermometer, the feels like can be 10, 12, 15 degrees hotter or more. When we're in the low to mid 90s, our usual summertime highs, the feels like temperatures in the high 90s. Now the feels like temperature is 109 to $115. Crazy. If you know people that have health issues, the elderly, that do not have air conditioning where they live, go pick them up during these oppressively hot parts of the day, 9, 10 a.m. till at least now, if not an hour or two later, maybe like 9 to 7. Go to some different places that have air conditioning. Go eat somewhere inside. Go to the public library or the community center. Go shop at the grocery. Go to the shopping mall. Lakeside Shopping Center, all open, all air conditioning, cool and comfortable. No, it's hot out there. It's crazy. I mentioned on Twitter today that, man, this oppressive heat, could it have something to do with our tree canopy? I was expecting 50-50 shot. I was like, I was sort of almost skeptical of what I was saying, but I play a little golf. I go to different golf courses. I played Belterre a few weeks ago. They've got brand new greens. It's a Pete Dye old course coming back. I enjoyed it. Great layout. Great challenging holes. It needs some work. They're going. They're moving along. They're getting it done. They lost 250 trees after Ida. The TPC, where the, PGA Tour pros play every year, lost hundreds of trees after these major storms and hurricanes. So I'm like, if golf courses are losing the trees, like 3, 4, 5 major trees an acre or more, could be up to like 10 major trees in 1 acre of ground. Wouldn't that be true with the rest of the city too? And mature trees that aren't easily replaced, that provide a lot of shade. No, New Orleans used to be a ridiculously green city. I'm like, I wouldn't doubt if like a third of our canopy's gone. Then all of a sudden I'm getting all these replies with fact-based studies, and New Orleans has one of the biggest losses of their tree canopy the last few decades. It is like a third or more. No, we should be digging holes, small holes, and planting trees, oak trees and cypress and pine trees, planting trees like crazy, the biggest we can get all over the city, getting that canopy back up, getting rid of the concrete jungle. And then we need to be digging bigger holes for drainage, for retention ponds specifically. Gravity, Sir Isaac Newton, the apple falling off the tree and hitting him in the head. Water flowing down to its lowest point. Lowest points of the city, or at least the areas near them, need to have huge retention ponds. Post-Katrina, nearly 2 decades ago, going to Amsterdam and Japan and Germany and how to work with water, not against it. Haven't done any of it. Even the $14 billion in levees and flood walls, all that protection, it's fantastic. But none of it's people friendly. With just the slightest bit of thought and effort, not a nickel more money. I use the Hain Boulevard flood wall in New Orleans East as an example. A few miles long, on the lakefront. No steps or ramps, no inviting access, no flat top for jogging or riding bikes or sitting on a bench overlooking the lake, for crying out loud. It's not people friendly. It's the opposite. Stay away, flood wall, where 999 out of 1,000 days, it's not used for flood protection. It's just sitting there, waiting for the storm to come. Thank God it's there. It's needed. But why didn't they build it with people in mind, where we could go enjoy it, sit on it, ride on it, jog on it, work with the people instead of just a wall? It's just not working with water, working against it. So even that, we kind of missed that little part of it. The $14 billion in levee and flood wall construction, make it people friendly. The Great Wall in St. Bernard, that giant wall where they drive trucks on it. Why isn't it like a fishing pier? Are folks going to beat it up, this monstrous concrete structure, and where it's not going to be flood proof anymore? It's just, why doesn't the public have access to that for fishing and recreation? No more money, just thinking about the public a little. We blew it on all of that. On all of it. Retention ponds. Elysian Fields neutral ground from the river to the lake is supposed to be one large linear retention pond, a big winding linear neutral ground of water features and jogging paths and benches and little bridges and piers for fishing and all that from the lake to the river. Amazing. Instead, it's just a neutral ground where outside of panhandlers like Elysian Fields at I-610, Elysian Fields at like Claiborne Fields at maybe St. Claude, there's no human beings on that neutral ground anywhere. Not only do you get flood protection, it is a magnet for humans. Jogging path, bike path, fishing piers, water features, lit up, inviting. Not, it's a neutral ground with Elysian Fields. No one wants to go near it. Mirabeau, right off of St. Bernard Avenue in that Oak Park, almost Gentilly neighborhood near the old St. Bernard housing project. Huge, like 15, 20 acre plot of land, like the Nuns' home, I think. Supposed to be a huge retention pond park full of water features. Drain that Gentilly Oak Park neighborhood. Come on. We should be digging holes. That should be New Orleans' motto. We be digging. Digging holes, little holes, planting trees, oaks, magnolias, cypress, all over the city. Just a proliferation of trees. Like, unbelievable, man. When you go to New Orleans, all they do is plant trees. and digging holes for retention ponds. So those holes fill with water instead of our streets and houses and cars and neighborhoods. Just like the golf courses, they lower the water pool and the retention ponds, so the valuable stuff, the tee boxes, the fairways, the greens, they don't flood. The waters flow right down to the low areas, the old retention ponds that were lowered before the storm came. New Orleans had retention ponds, big storm coming, you drain them. All the water flows in there. The Sewage and Water Board's pumping retention ponds lower instead of neighborhoods and streets and houses. Simple. We should be digging. Boy, it's hot, but you can be painting, knocking out that paint project early morning right now. Helm Paint and Decorating, 7 locations in Metro New Orleans. Quality Benjamin Moore products. They've been doing it over 50 years. New Orleanians, it's in the no-brainer category. Those that know when it's time to paint, you go to Helm Paint and Decorating. Free 2-hour delivery in Metro New Orleans, too. Helm Paint and Decorating. Yeah, you right. USA Today coaches preseason poll is out. LSU, number 5. Tulane, number 23. A double, yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants. Leidenheimer French bread.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here. delivering Louisiana's future. At the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. It is not a sports talk show. Corey Johnson with you, the Neutral Ground, but a few times a week we talk sports, or if a big sports story is a breaking. Every Monday, a Martel Monday. Brett Martel's about 15 minutes away. He's been with the Associated Press over 25 years. Today he was in Baton Rouge talking with Brian Kelly and some of the LSU players. LSU, number 5 in the USA Today Coaches preseason poll. That was released around 1 p.m. local time. LSU number 5. Tulane Green Wave fans, roll wave. Tulane in at number 23. USA Today Coaches preseason poll is out. Tulane in that poll for the first time in the history of the program, Willie Fritz. Tulane in at 23, Willie Fritz. Defending AAC, Atlantic Athletic Conference champions, Willie Fritz. Cotton Bowl winners over USC. The Trojans are 6th, Willie Fritz. The coach joined us in the 4 o'clock hour, around 4:35. You can check that out on YouTube and soon on Anchor, iTunes, Spotify in just a little while. Willie Fritz talking about his Tulane Green Wave, 23rd ranked team in the land. Brett Martel will join us to discuss the 5th ranked LSU Tigers. He was in Baton Rouge, like I said, 15 minutes away. Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, maybe 15 minutes or less away from where you live. You live on the East Bank or West Bank. How long does it take you to get to Elmwood? Right under the UEP Long Bridge, right on River Road, on Latrim Lane. That's where Latrim's located. That's 80 plus acres, about 12, 13, 1,400 employees. I'm not kidding you. A culture of innovation, and they are hiring. You North Shore folks, Latrim has a facility off I-12, and they're hiring. It's not 2 or 3 job openings either. It's dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs. A career for you at Latrim. Go to latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrim spelled L-A-I-R-A-M, latrim.com. Yeah, you right. Insanely hot. Insane heat wave. It was 97 when I started the show at, 99 when I started the show at 4. It's about 97 or 98 right now. The feels like anywhere from like 107, a little lower now, to like 115. Oppressive and dangerous. Now, I tweeted about our tree canopy, the lack of a tree canopy in New Orleans, how devastated it's been the last 20 years. Just basing it off of going to golf courses and seeing trees gone after storms. Has to be happening all over the city, and it is. A lot of folks coming in with facts, like studies and facts. Like a third of our tree canopy is, I guessed, gone. Greater than a third. I think it's 38%. Largest loss in America. We should be digging small holes and planting trees all over Metro New Orleans. And we should be digging big holes, retention ponds for water all over New Orleans. None of that's happening. These are big problems for New Orleans. Retention ponds help us when we get hurricanes and flooding. The ponds fill with water instead of streets and neighborhoods and homes. And then the trees, we don't get, feels like 109 to 115 in Orleans Parish in New Orleans proper. No, we need more trees. Too much concrete, not enough trees. Hey, I've got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates If you'd like to pick up 50 big bucks, $50 at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Count them, 5 area locations, 2 on the South Shore, 2 on the North Shore, by the Mall of Louisiana in Baton Rouge. I'm going to answer this. When I said I was going to answer it the other day, but I'm going to answer it. Southport Hall, River Road at the Parish Line, original use. We got that answer. A casino. Salvation Army Store, Jefferson Highway at Parish Line, original use. That's still out there. I'm going to give that answer in the next 15 minutes. If you don't give it to me now, that Salvation Army Store, it's across the street from the Lowe's, Jefferson Highway at River Road, right down the block from Southport Hall. River Road at the Parish Line. Southport Hall, original use, a casino. What was the Salvation Army Store's original use? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations can be yours. Rouse's Market's phone lines for you to participate. 766-9480. 766-9480. This guy, Louisiana born and raised, a blues legend who has made Chicago his home for the last 65 plus years. He's 87 a week ago. Made 87 a week ago. This guy is a Chicago blues legend, but he's a Louisiana blues legend too. He was born and raised here, stayed here until he was 21, learned the music, all of it. The music is Louisiana. Who is this guy, this blues legend, lives in Chicago? Boy, I'm giving you lots of hints. Got a club named after him in Chicago, been there the last 65 years. Who is this guy? Give me the answer. 504-766-9480. This guy worked at LSU in Baton Rouge in his late teens, early 20s. 766-9480. You got the answer? I got 50 big bucks for you. Where does the mighty Mississippi River start? Where does the mighty Mississippi River get its start? 766-9480. World's oldest continuously operated streetcar line. I'm looking for the specific streetcar line. 766-9480. 766-9480. What's that street in San Francisco, Jason, that winds? You know, that brick street that just zigzags. San Francisco. Damn. Mulberry? Is it Mulberry? Winding red brick San Francisco Street? Mulberry Street? Lombard in San Francisco. You're seeing a big red winding street. Just zigzagging down. It could be Lombard. Yep. Anyway, no streetcars run on that. Could that be a hint, or am I trying to throw you off on oldest continuously operated streetcar line? I want the specific line in the world. Hey, it was the only address on Wisner. I think it's the only address on Wisner, and it doesn't exist anymore. Escuela on Wisner, right off of Allen Toussaint. The only address I ever remember in my life on Wisner or Wisner Boulevard. What was there that ain't there no more? Give me the answer. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa, 5 area locations, 766-9480, 766-9480. Go Tigers, roll wave. USA Today coaches preseason poll is out. LSU number 5, Tulane number 23. Gotta love that. LSU number 5. The defending SEC West Division champs. The SEC West Division may be the best conference in football. The 7 teams that make up the SEC West might be the best conference in football. LSU number 5. Tulane, the defending AAC champs, the conference champs, the Cotton Bowl winners. Tulane's in at number 23. LSU 5. Tulane 23. USA Today coaches preseason poll is out. Yeah, you right. Boy, the video of that security guard by the downtown Maine post office, Loyola at Tulane, getting harassed by someone, verbal altercation, getting pushed by a man. He runs off, throws a brick at her. She unloads her pistol on this guy, shoots at him a bunch of times, then moves over a few feet as he's running away and shoots him a few more times. Kia Simmons, the security guard, being charged with second-degree murder, battery, illegal use of a weapon, criminal damage to property, shooting up property. Henry Mark was who she shot in the back several times. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. A Monday afternoon. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now on a Monday? The perfect wind down your workday spot. Bunch of New Orleans characters, plus dinner, big portions, a taste of New Orleans. Like Scott Craig says, more is better, more of the good things. Katie's in Mid-City. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? Let's head to the phone lines. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480, 504-766-9480. Temetry, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic. Lots and lots of traffic. Carol is with us.
Yes, Carol from Metairie.
Carol, where you been?
I've been right here. Every time I call you, tell me I can't win because I've been at 6 months. I've been 6 months for a year.
It's been 6 months or a year since you last won a Woodhouse. Is that what you're telling me?
Listen, I think I got the answer for the mighty Mississippi.
Are you eligible? That's what you're telling us. You're eligible for a Woodhouse?
Ask me that. And I wouldn't be calling you if I didn't think I could win.
Well, Carol, there's some people that are a little deviant and crooked out there. We just have to make sure.
I'm 93 years old. I'm as old as your mama.
My mom's 93 too. Carol, are you still driving like she is?
Yes, I am.
Holy smokes.
I just went to Fausto's night before last, and they had a delicious meal.
Nice. Awesome, Carol. You're the best.
Yeah, I get around. Don't worry about that. But not with men.
Nice. Keeping it clean.
Now, wait. You ready for my answer?
Yes. What you got, Carol?
I had the mighty Mississippi.
All right. Where does the mighty Mississippi River start?
Mississippi started in Missouri, right?
In Missouri?
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Not correct. But guess what, Carol? I'm going to tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate anyway. You want to know why?
Why?
Because you're just nice and friendly, and you went to Fausto's, and you're
a
big fan of the program. You tolerate me when I'm asking you if you're eligible or not.
Right. And let me tell you something. When you the mighty Mississippi, they showed it where it started and it flows.
Yep.
Oh, this is a while back. And you can just step right over the very start of it.
Oh, yeah. You're right. It's a little trickle.
But listen to this. When you pass my house, look at my beautiful magnolia tree. I bought this, and it was supposed to stay small, and it's so big. It's got beautiful magnolias on it. And I can't say enough about the trees.
All right. When I drive in Metairie and I see a magnolia tree in a yard, I'm going to be like, that might be Carol's house.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give my address. I might get plenty of boyfriends.
Yeah, you got that right. You could get folks coming by to snap photos of the magnolia.
Listen, how is your mother? She's good?
How's who?
Your mom.
Oh, she's great. Thank goodness, Carol. Thanks for asking.
I know. I still have my marbles.
Yep, she does too. Better marbles than I got.
Well, maybe I don't know about that. But listen, okay, you send me my little mighty Mississippi, okay?
I'm going to send you a gift card. Can you hang on, Carol?
Oh, yeah.
Hang on. Jason's got to get some info. Tighten you up with that gift card, Carol. David joins us in New Orleans. What's happening, David?
All right. Where you at there, Corey?
Where you at, dude?
uptown. I think that place. I know that place was called O'Dwyer's. Salvation Army, right there, beginning of Jefferson Highway.
Wow. O'Dwyer's,
because I remember. Well, I think I'm right. I remember when I was a little kid. My dad brought me down and he pointed out it was open. You could walk in. And he said, you see all this stuff there, the gambling. They had a lot of gambling going on here and that. And then later on, one of my sisters went to school with one of the O'Dwyers. I think they live right down the side street, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think you're right. In the street behind it's O'Dwyer Place. And Mr. O'Dwyer developed the whole neighborhood in the late 40s, early 50s. And that was like a casino, I think, and then it was a bowling alley, right?
I think, I think so. But if you go down that side street by the levee, all the way down toward the River Road,
Monticello.
I think the O'Dwyers had a house down there.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money, David. That's excellent work. You are correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for
I did not know it was called O'Dwyer's, though. That's good info.
Yeah, that's the name of the family. They were into a lot of things.
Oh, no doubt. I didn't know that building was called that, but that was a casino. There were a bunch of casinos there because it was right on the edge of the parish. It was right by New Orleans. And then the state police came in, I think, in the Earl Long era and, sledgehammers to the, slot machines and the craps tables and all that.
Yeah, well, it was closed down when my father brought me through there. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm talking, I don't know how long ago.
Yeah, I hear
but
that.
Anyway,
hey, Dave, go ahead.
I was going to say, doesn't the Mississippi start in Minnesota?
Well, let's hold out on that. Let's give someone else a chance, but we want to be more specific than that. Hang on, David in New Orleans. Carolyn Metry, David in New Orleans, picking up 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Corey Johnson with you. Let's see. What question was I going to answer that I said I'd answer in 15 minutes? Oh, the Salvation Army store one. So that's good. That one was answered. I was going to say a casino and then a bowling alley. So what do we still have out there? Still have this guy, Louisiana born and raised blues legend, has made Chicago his home for over 65 years, has a club named after him. Who is this guy? Who's this blues legend? Give me this guy's name. He was 87 years old last Monday, still performing in Chicago at his club sometimes. Who is this guy? 766-9480. 766-9480. Where does the mighty Mississippi River start? World's oldest continuously operated streetcar line. I want the specific streetcar line. The only address on Wisner, used to be there, ain't there no more. Wisner, in between Allen Toussaint and City Park Avenue, Esplanade, the Curves. Wisner, one address on that entire street. What's the address? You got an answer? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Hey, they're closed tomorrow, but they're open tonight till 9:30. They're open right now. Lebanon's Cafe, Wednesday through Monday night. They close on Tuesdays. That's the only day they're closed. But they roll till 9:30 tonight. How about those lamb chops? How about shish kebab? Can you name a restaurant that serves shish kebab in Metro New Orleans? Shrimp, beef, chicken, lamb, shish kebab. Get a combo. Pick any of the two. Lebanon's Cafe, some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, where Carrollton is one lane. Lebanon's Cafe. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon, insanely hot. Stay hydrated. This heat wave stuff we had last week that was supposed to last a week, and then we were back to our normal miserable summer highs of low to mid-90s. This week ain't happening. It's a repeat of last week. Another week of 97, 98, 99. We hit 99 and 100 degrees in Metro New Orleans. Temperature on the thermometer. Feels like temperature. 108, 112, 115 in some parts of the Metro. It's dangerous. It's oppressive. You got to stay hydrated. Lots of water. Be careful. Really dangerous. And it's continuing through the week, through the weekend, into early next week. 97, 98, 99. No, the temperature on the thermometer coupled with the feels like, it's about 8 degrees minimum and as much as about 15 degrees above our normal feels like. And that's the major difference. Besides the temperature being hotter by 4, 5, 6, 7 degrees, the feels like's like 12 to 15 degrees hotter. So be careful. Be careful. Hey, when we come back, Brett Martel is going to join us. He was at LSU today. USA Today coaches preseason poll is out. LSU number 5, Tulane number 23. Gotta love that. LSU 5, Tulane 23. Hey, every day this program on radio, on television, on YouTube, live streaming The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Live streaming on our website, KaareTalks.com. Always brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. Home of Lamarck Ford, the number 1 Ford dealership in the region. Home of Lamarck Lincoln, number 1 Lincoln dealership in the region. The Lamarck Automotive Complex by the lake in Kenner on the I-10 and Williams Boulevard corner. That's the car corner. Right on the corner, right on the price. Across the parish out by the river, the legendary Ford truck and SUV dealership, Crescent City Ford, now under the Lamarck umbrella, now known as Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
River City's Total Maintenance is your cool spot. You need air conditioning help? River City's Total Maintenance. NolaAC.com. NolaAC.com. That's all you need to know. You need air conditioning help right now? NolaAC.com. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. He was up in Baton Rouge earlier today. He's with the Associated Press for over 25 years now. Brett Martel joins us. Another Martel Monday. What up, Brett?
Hey, Corey. How are you?
Good. How you doing, brother?
Just trying to cool down from standing out by the LSU practice field in the 90-plus degree heat.
Yep. Are you back in NO or still in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, back in New Orleans now.
Yep. Yeah, I'm telling you, it is brutal out there. The feels like is harsh. What happened today in Baton Rouge? Was this the first Monday lunch?
The first Monday what?
I call it the Monday lunch with the coach. They still do that gimmick?
Oh, no, this wasn't that. No, actually, Brian Kelly didn't speak to the media today, but a couple of players did. Now, they were supposed to have 4 players talk today, but one of those players, Kyron Lacey, was involved in a little scuffle after the whistle during 11-on-11 drills and got tossed out of practice along with Malik Neighbors, his fellow starting wide receiver.
Wow.
So, they had a dispute with Harold Perkins, linebacker.
Badass
That's
linebacker.
3 very high-profile players. And there was shoving and then separation and then yelling and then, reconvergence and then melee.
Wow.
And then bodies on the ground.
Wow.
And then angry coaches sending 2 players off. But, afterwards, a couple of the players who were available, including Mason Taylor and Savion Jones, they said that, nobody's proud of what happened, that they need to focus on, the brotherhood of teammates. But at the same time, they understand that they're very passionate about preparing for a season with very high expectations, and people aren't always in their right mind when they're super heated.
Yep.
Emotionally and physically. You know what I mean? So, obviously, look, time statistics and everything else. People do rash things when it's extremely hot outside and they're physically uncomfortable, and you combine that with high competitiveness and on a football field. Stuff like this happens sometimes. Nobody was too worked up about it, but it was kind of a brief little spectacle.
The high expectations maybe got higher, verified, whatever. USA Today coaches preseason poll released a few hours ago. LSU number 5, Brett.
Yeah, and I would expect a very, very similar, close to top 5 ranking for LSU in the AT poll, which is due out early next week. But yeah, that validates. I think what it's saying is, and I know you look at the gambling too, and their odds are really not all that bad.
What's the over under 10? Something like that, I would guess. 9.5.
Well, I don't have that off the top of my head. I'd have to look it back up. But you know, like if you're just trying to bet on a team to contend for a national championship, there aren't that many teams with better odds than them. And I think the reasons are obvious. They exceeded expectations by a lot last year, and the players, the combination of transfers and young players who helped exceed those expectations, many of the most important ones are back. And now there's very little uncertainty about who's going to play where and do what. And, now they're really just trying hard to build on that. And so I think the key for them, and Mason Taylor said that this today actually, is, he kept using the term, and it's a sports cliche, but he said you need to be where your feet are, meaning that, don't put your head in the national championship game when your feet are on a practice field in August.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
Yeah. So, they're trying to stay grounded and just work on, being ready to meet the high expectations that they acknowledge are both inside and outside of the football operations building.
LSU 8.5 over under, according to Vegas, 8.5. By the way, Tigers favored by 2.5 at least over Florida State in a few weeks from Orlando. I guess when you were talking to these players, was the USA Today poll out yet? Did they know they were number 5 or no?
They may have known. It was just coming. It came out while they were at practice.
Yeah, it came out about 1 o'clock local time, roughly.
Well, actually, if it came out then, I thought it was known before that. But if it came out at 1, no, then they wouldn't have known when we spoke to them because we were done talking to them by 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
Brett, what's the vibe on this LSU football team? Is there what would you say are the strengths of the team? I guess it would start at quarterback. And what would be a concern? Is there a concern?
Well, I'll tell you, yeah, if you want to start with the strengths, at quarterback, yes, not just because Jaden Daniels improved so much last year and also proved to be quite durable for his style of play. He took some huge hits. He ran a lot. It gave opposing defenses fits, and he was able to make it through most of the season without any injuries. And then when he did get hurt, he was still able to, kind of play a lot in the biggest games. Now, Garrett Nussmeier looked pretty good as well in practice today. What we saw in 11-on-11s was him completing some really nice deep balls. He was intercepted once. And again, it's 11-on-11. They're in pads. It's partial contact. It's early in camp. You can never read too much into that. Except that, he clearly identified the receiver he wanted to go to and threw a beautiful ball, and the guys made nice catches. And that's always a good sign early on, So they're deep at quarterback. And, running back's going to be interesting.
Emery's back there now, right?
Right. Yep. He missed the first practice, but he's back now.
They got a bunch of running backs too. I think it's going to be by committee, and then someone's going to emerge that just is maybe the game time guy.
Right. And they have Diggs, who started at Rummel, and then Kelly recruited to Notre Dame, and now he's transferred back to LSU. Right. So, they have that at running back, and he was actually taking the first snaps today at running back. The offensive line, which they had a lot of concerns about going into last year.
Yeah, it's a strength all of a sudden.
Yes. Yeah. They have, 4 starters back, and Will Campbell looks better than ever. And so,
yep.
That's a strength, obviously with Harold Perkins. I keep wanting to say Ray Perkins. Is that showing my age?
Yep. I was about to say you're going to get a brick thrown through the window of your house, but that might have been Bill Curry who got the brick thrown. I don't know if it was. Anyway, post Bear Bryant 90s before or late 80s.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yep.
80s actually before Gene Stallings.
Right.
So what are some of the negatives or concerns?
Maybe the defensive backfield.
Yeah, because it's so many new players. The front seven looks good, but I was going to say DB, you got a lot of new faces back there, especially backup guys.
Yeah. And so, look, they're known as DBU. They tend to get great athletes and guys who can really play that position. There may be some bumps in the road, on the way to, peak performance in the backfield this
That
year.
one freshman 5-star cornerback, I forget the kid's name. He's going to see a lot of the field. That's for sure.
Yeah, he should. He was, I think, one of the guys that we were supposed to get today, but he ended up not showing up for the availability. I think he kind of got shaken up.
Hey, Brett, LSU 23. First time in the history of the program they made the preseason poll.
Yep, and I wouldn't be surprised if they, again, make the preseason poll with the AP somewhere, in between 20 and 25 as well.
Yep.
Next week we'll have to see. But, look, they were also, I think, the first time ever picked to win the conference. So, they won the conference last year. They're favored to win it again this year. The conference still has some good teams, but is a bit weaker than it was last year because of some of the realignment.
Yep.
And so yeah, I mean, they have a lot to look forward to this season. They obviously Michael Pratt's back at quarterback. And they have a lot of other good players back. They did lose a couple of great defenders and a top running back, Hajj Spears. They lost Nick Anderson, linebacker.
Yep.
Who's now with the Saints, trying to make the team as an undrafted. But overall, look, I mean, that program has been in relatively good shape under Willie Fritz. I mean, even though they weren't world beaters for most of the previous 5 seasons, they did go to 3 consecutive bowl games before they had that terrible 2-11 injury plague season, and just bounced back as the best story in the country last year.
Yep.
Winning the Cotton Bowl. So that's 4 bowl games in 5 years, and they won 3 of them.
Hey, Brett, I don't know if I doubt we're going to see Pat Mahomes in the Dome Sunday with the Saints in Kansas City, first preseason game of 3. But Dennis Allen says you're going to see the Saints starters. I guess just different thing, KC's top team in the league, been to a few Super Bowls, Mahomes the man. They don't really need to figure anything out. Saints are different, new starting quarterback. So he says the starters are going to play Sunday against Kansas City, at least for a little while.
Right. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2 offensive series, and so maybe even less than the first quarter. But I think with just 3 preseason games, and with all the the changes you mentioned at key positions,
yep.
It's probably important for them to just at least be able to see 2 offensive series on game tape, like, an 11-on-11, full speed, full contact, and be able to, just use those teaching points going forward in the early part of training camp.
Yeah, and you want, it's like, it's like taking a few swings in the batting cage, or you just walk up to the plate and hit. You want to take a few snaps. Carr's a veteran, but it's McCoy. They've been doing it in practice. Do it in a game, a pseudo game, a preseason game, just to get a feel. I think that's all they're doing.
I think, and also when you think about it, it's actually the least. If you're going to play those guys in the preseason, the least amount of risk is this game, because if they do tweak something, they have the rest of the month to recover before the real game starts.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a serious injury is a serious injury, but you don't want them getting a minor injury any later than next Sunday.
No, you're right on the money. Hey, Brett, how can folks read your columns, your articles via the AP?
Yeah, apnews.com, or on the smartphone. There's an AP News app, and it's free and very easy to use, and gives you news from all over the world.
Yep. Always a pleasure, Brett. Thank you.
Take it easy, Corey. Talk to you later.
That's Brett Martel from the Associated Press joining us. He was at LSU today. He'll have some good stuff from that. USA Today coaches preseason poll released a few hours ago. LSU number 5. Willie Fritz's Tulane Green Wave number 23. Green Wave fans, Willie Fritz joined us around 4:35 earlier today. If you go to YouTube or Anchor, iTunes, Spotify, that's usually about where the first 5 minutes of the program we usually don't have. So 4:35 would be like 30 minutes into it, basically. Had Tulane head football coach Willie Fritz on for about 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. discussing all kind of stuff, including Tulane ranked 23rd in the preseason poll. Football locker room, maybe a new indoor facility or bubble on campus. Check it out, Green Wave fans. Monday afternoon, heading home from work. There's a Rouse's Market on the way home. There's one in your neighborhood, right next door to your neighborhood. Tastes like home, because it is home. Best quality, best price, best selection. Your Rouse's Markets. That's Blue Boy saying thanks for checking out the program. We'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday, 4 o'clock. Stay hydrated. Stay out of the heat.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.